What's up, pirates? Welcome back to the Captain's Lifestyle Podcast, where we inspire you to optimize your health, find fulfillment, and maximize freedom. I'm here with Phil Welch, owner of the Waken Ranch, where we just finished hosting the third Immersion, and that's what this episode is going to be about. A little recap from the Immersion, what the Immersion is, and a special announcement at the end. Phil's going to be starting his own podcast, so we'll get into that. But so yeah, the Immersion, it's a 5-day long, well, 3 full days, 2 kind of half days, rite of passage, and really celebration of you becoming the captain of your own life. The only way to attend is to graduate my program, where you learn the basics of living a healthy lifestyle, all about mindset, sleep, nutrition, connecting with nature, etc., etc. And then the Immersion is where you get to immerse yourself in the experience around other high performers, other rock star coaches that we bring out, guest speakers. And yeah, this third one, I don't know about you, but this one was my favorite that we've done so far.
Oh yeah. Every time we have a lot of the same guys come back.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like a good testament for, how good it is. But everyone feels more cohesion, and people are more open. And I feel like that openness bleeds to anyone that's new attending. So it's really cool to see that play out over 3, and it's only going to get better every time.
Yeah, we've had Captain Seven Steve's. He's attended all 3.
Yep.
We've been working together for about a year, and he attended the first one. So we won't go into a whole background on him, which I was about to. But basically, his first one, when we first started working together, he was afraid to take cold showers, and at the first Immersion, he worked up to 7 minutes under the ice bath, breathing through a bamboo straw, and then
and that was the limit of what we thought was possible, honestly. He pushed that, and then we were like, all right, we got to beat this.
Yeah.
I did 14 minutes and you did 20.
Yeah.
But I would have maybe gotten 7 minutes if it wasn't for him.
Yeah, he's an inspiration for sure. He's becoming one of the guys that everybody in the crew looks up to because of the transformation that he's made. And then at this Immersion, he spent 12 minutes under the ice bath. So super inspirational. So yeah, we've got repeat guys coming back as well as new attendees, and everybody at this one and the first 2 really had major transformations, but especially this one because we focused a lot more on action. One of the things that we did differently for this one was less structured time and more time on your own and one-on-one with the other coaches to focus on creation time. So we had the guys identify something in their life that they were procrastinating or that they had a vision of creating, and then we set aside time to actually work on implementing these things and taking action. So that was another really cool part. But before we get into anything else, you may notice my voice is a little raspy, a little nasally. That's because I think I caught a little bit of a bug from Mr. Dave Robinson, who caught one on the last day. He was a little congested, had a cough.
Yeah, we go hard the days before, so I mean.
Yeah, it's a lot of stress, a lot of a little bit of lack of sleep, running around preparing. So thankfully, I'm super healthy. So I caught it last night, and yeah, felt better this morning when I woke up. And it's just getting better as the day goes on. So I've been spending a lot of time grounded, a lot of time in the sun, which are the 2 best things that you can do if you are feeling sick. I'm also fasting today. What else am I doing? The water. Yeah, this was, I just got out of the cold tub also. This was one of our sponsors, Opora Water, which is structured, oxygenated, and filtered. So I'll read to you what they say on the back here. We use our patented process to infuse Nutopia, which is just their like registered trademark of basically meaning that it's completely free of any microplastics, environmental toxins, impurities. With molecular stabilized oxygen. In clinical studies, molecular oxygen has been shown to have many therapeutic benefits, including increased energy levels, improved hydration, enhanced immune function, better nutrient absorption, improved digestion, and reduced signs of aging. So a lot of the guys, all the guys at the Immersion had this. Shout out to Opora for
a lot of bottles of it. That was a great sponsor. I
Yeah.
thought that was a solid one, and I like this time we only had water and raw milk
Yep.
instead of the last few times we've had kind of like sparkling drinks and flavored drinks and whatnot. It's kind of nice to just have you have your choice of water or raw milk,
Yeah.
and you can't get any better than that water.
Yeah, this was good stuff. A couple of our other sponsors that we'll get to are like powders that you mix in with water, but a lot of the guys didn't want to mix it in this because this tastes so crisp and clean. So they used the regular reverse osmosis filtered water that we have to mix the other sponsors with. Because this, for me personally, I'll say that this is the best water that I've ever had. And that's why I got them to sponsor the Immersion. And the guys were asking for a discount code. I emailed them today. We got code CAPTAIN set up for Opora. So if you want the hookup on the healthiest water, use code CAPTAIN at Opora. The link will be in the description. All right, on to the other sponsors that we had. Because if you've ever come to the Immersion, you know that I hook you guys up with sponsors. So we also had Awakened. Shout out to my guy Mason Core, founder of the Stampede Network. But yeah, this is the only pre-workout that I will consume. It's all natural, holistic ingredients, all organic, no artificial bullshit. They use a bunch of good stuff in here. I'm not going to go over all the ingredients, but if you guys know me, you know that anything that I promote is the highest quality shit. So the link to this will be in the description. Use code CAPTAIN to get a discount on this. Provides nice pumps, good energy, obviously. And what I like about this that sets it apart from other pre-workouts is that it provides focus as well with the Alpha GPC, Mucuna, Purines in here. So I'll take this before work as well and not just workouts. We've also got Bioptimizers, another one of my sponsors. I had them send us Microbiome Breakthrough, which the guys had in the morning while fasted. This is fantastic at repairing your gut and improving leaky gut, improving nutrient absorption, things like that. Plus, it tastes delicious. So we had the guys take this in the morning on an empty stomach. Some of them mixed it in their raw milk. I have it in my coffee. I forgot to bring down the Gabaalicious, but you want to talk a little bit about why you like Gabaalicious? It's a blend of adaptogenic mushrooms
Yeah, and I'm
and
really picky on what I take, and that's one of my favorites is the Gabaalicious. The mushrooms is extracted, so it has no taste, and it is loaded pretty heavy with chaga, cordyceps,
reishi,
lion mane.
reishi and lion's mane.
Yeah. You left 3 bottles of that last time, and I downed that. I was like, I'm gonna leave it for him for the next immersion. It's like, no, it's too good tasting, and 2, it's like, it's a good pre-workout too because it's got
The cordyceps. Yeah.
cordyceps, and all those mushrooms kind of work together.
Yeah.
I love mushrooms for the mind and for the body.
Yeah. I didn't bring my Gabaalicious when I came here because I was like, oh, I got a couple of bottles at Phil's,
Yeah.
but they were all gone.
I
which-
took them up camping. It was down in those camping, canoeing. I had to have the energy.
Yeah. We also got Magnesium Breakthrough for all the guys. This is my #1 recommended supplement because magnesium plays a role in over 600 different enzymatic functions. So if you're deficient in magnesium, that can lead to things like excess stress, anxiety, poor sleep, reduced muscular recovery, a whole bunch of stuff. I also got him my Digestive SWAT team, which is a combination of digestive enzymes, their patented probiotic, and hydrochloric acid. So it really just helps to break down your food, help you absorb more nutrients from the food.
Good time to eat is like if you're eating a little bit later than you want to, that's when I take it, or a bigger meal than I want to. Normally I want to eat a smaller meal at dinner, but
Yeah.
depending on my eating schedule, that's a nice supplement.
Yeah. And these are nice because they're little travel packs. Let me show you guys.
I mean, if you're trying to put on muscle mass or whatnot, I mean, that's a good trick, is taking the digestive enzymes. And
Yeah. This is one of my hacks for anybody who wants to gain muscle out there or just gain size. Because exactly what Phil said, it helps you break down a lot of the food. So if you're eating a bunch of food, which you got to do if you're trying to put on muscle, this helps tremendously with any sort of digestive issues.
a lot of people out there have heartburn. I think that's a good supplement to try instead of the antacids and other things that your doctor will give you. Those things actually reduce your digestion because it's affecting the acidity in your stomach. That does the opposite, where it's like you want to increase the acidity so you can digest that food with the HCl and then the enzymes.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good thing to try for anyone with digestion issues or heartburn.
Definitely. Their tagline, so Bioptimizers, before they came out with all these other supplements, I think their first one was the Masszymes, and their tagline is fixing digestion. Like, that's their specialty. So
important.
the last thing I got for the guys was Protein Breakthrough from Bioptimizers. This is a vegan protein, which typically I don't endorse, but because it's a blend of pea protein, hemp protein, and pumpkin seed protein, it's actually a decent vegan protein. This isn't the best for building muscle, but if I need extra protein, I'll put this in my smoothies or in my yogurt. So I got that for all the guys. And then also from Bioptimizer's partner company, Nutopia, we got them the Apex, which is a nootropic. That's good for creativity, calmness, neurogenesis. Upbeat, which as the name suggests, just provides feelings of positivity, focus as well, and energy. I actually took both of these before this podcast. And then we also got Gabaalicious for the guys, which is one of my favorites for down regulation. As the name suggests, it's got GABA in there, magnesium, taurine, glycine, a lot of compounds for relaxing the body. And I'm actually gonna take some of this right now. It also tastes delicious. They nailed the flavor on all their powders. You guys can use code Captain Morgan to get a discount on anything from Bioptimizers. And before I put that in my water, to finish up from the sponsors, we've got Honeybee Hippie, which is all natural, organic personal care products. We got tooth powder for the guys, so fluoride free.
I've tried a lot of different toothpastes. That's the best one I've had. That's awesome. And it travels easy because it's powder, so
Yeah.
you don't have to worry about it being a liquid.
You want to talk about fluoride for a little bit? How fucked up fluoride is?
Yeah, I mean, it'll mess up your thyroid, which seems to be one of the most important things for health and regulating, your metabolism. And one, it regulates it's like the gas pedal to your mitochondria, as Jack Cruz has said. It's a dielectric blocker in that it lowers the electrical charge that can be stored in water. And that's the reason we get out in sunlight. That's the reason we get in cold tubs. That's the reason we drink good waters. It just will have it's just taking something that lowers your battery.
Yeah.
So you don't even want to put it in your mouth, let alone swallow it. Especially for kids. I mean, my kid eats toothpaste. They don't know how to spit, so you definitely need to make sure you have a fluoride-free toothpaste for kids, but you don't want that in your mouth.
It's a known toxin. Like, it's been proven that it's a toxin. So yeah, fluoride is garbage. Calcifies your pineal gland. But yeah, look at the color of this. That's another reason I like it, because it looks like I'm drinking a potion.
Especially when it's in that Captain's bottle.
Yeah, my decanter.
It looks like you're drinking alcohol or something.
Yeah. Speaking of alcohol, I use it as an alcohol alternative. So a lot of you guys know that I used to not be an alcoholic, but I used to have a problem with alcohol. And the Gabaalicious provides me the same effects as alcohol without the drunkenness. So it provides the relaxation, the social openness.
But it's alert. Like, it's strange that it causes you to be alert and think well, and at the same time it allows you to sleep better.
Yeah.
There's not many things that gives you energy but also allows you to sleep better later on.
Yeah, it's I take this in the evening too. Like if I've still got some focused work that I want to get done and it's been a stressful day, I'll take this in the evening and I can still stay focused and alert, but then also sleep well because it's got the magnesium, the glycine, the taurine, etc. Also from Honeybee Hippie, we got their hair and beard oil, which I use in my beard. We've also got their Honey Hydrate, their whipped tallow butter that I use in my beard as a conditioner, softens it. And then we also got for the guys their Honey Glow, which is a face and body wash. Again, all natural, holistic ingredients, no bullshit in here. You guys can use code Captain T to get a discount on anything from Honeybee Hippie.
I've never seen that company before. That's a good one.
Yeah, they're good. They're out of Huntington Beach.
Oh yeah.
Last from the sponsors, we've got in the back there Cryo Spring. They sent us one of their ice baths that can be an ice bath and a hot tub. It can get up to, I think, 107 and down to 37 degrees. So we had the guys using the Cryo Spring.
Yeah,
during the
before this
immersion.
we just used a deep freezer, and it's really nice to the walls don't get it's kind of interesting. It's the first time I've used a real cold tub like that. Was nice not having the walls being super cold. There's a lot of space in there. It's huge. You can buy the container separate, or you can buy the chiller with it. It's definitely recommended to get the chiller because you'll spend a lot of you'll make up the money pretty quickly because the ice is so expensive.
Yeah, ice gets expensive. All right, so that's it for the Immersion sponsors. Thank you to all you guys, the sponsors, for hooking us up. All right, now let's get into a little bit of the Immersion recap. So, the Immersion every year has been held in Otsego, Minnesota, at the Waken Ranch. Phil's incredible property you've got here. Talk to us a little bit about why we hold it here and your biohacked house and all the different upgrades that help the guys relax and heal when they're here.
Yeah, so we're right off the Mississippi. I had been looking a long time for a property that matched exactly what this is. Like, it's far away from power lines, as far away from cell phone towers. We don't get great cell phone service here. The
Caught a fly.
Closest cell tower is like 2 miles that way and 2 miles that way. So we're kind of in a sweet spot for EMF. I have my house wired with Ethernet, so we don't have any Wi-Fi on. Just trying to optimize the environment EMF wise. We're backed up to the Mississippi, and there's like a nature preserve like for 2 miles that way. So I just have forest that way with nobody living behind us, and then just a nice open space, a lot of privacy. Not it's minimal artificial light even from other people's houses or the street, almost zero. And then my house, it's just kind of optimized for having events like this in a lot of ways. It's like a small house. You don't need a lot, but it's kind of like a way
it's
to.
not really small.
It's a way to glamp, though. It's like we can use the house and you have all these amenities, but then we have a sweet setup to camp. So it's kind of like a camping trip, but with the amenities and being able to cook good food and electricity to do like our cold tub, hot tub, sauna, everything like that. I've switched all the lights to red, real specific light bulbs that are flicker free.
The links will be in the description for the light bulbs.
Some are Gemba red. Thanks to Gemba red.
Yeah,
for,
also. Yeah.
Hooking me up, and this house has almost kind of become a display for his lights, because he's the best red light company on the market, and he's focused on some of his lights are kind of focused for lighting up the outside. So I like the red light outside because it's like a campfire everywhere around my house, so you can see at night, but nobody has to turn on any flashlights or anything to get into their tents or to walk around. So it's really just optimized for people to sleep, which, one guy, that's what he needed. He needed to come here and sleep. A lot of the guys need to come here and sleep.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting. Every single immersion, I would have thought people would stay up and socialize. Like most things, when I get together with people, it's like we want to sit around and talk and stay up late. At this, everyone's ready to go to bed at 8:30 and just knocks out, and they're out cold. And it's because we optimize this for people's sleep and almost like set up an environment for healing. Which is part of the really important part of the immersion, is coming here to heal, and then hopefully see what I've done as an example, that it's a sweet setup. It's like the vibes of the red light, and just hopefully helping people set up their own houses.
Yeah, a lot of people mention that at the immersion. They're like, they notice themselves getting down-regulated earlier in the day than normal. Again, because of the lights. There's no light stimulation. Like, every light in the house is a red light, so your circadian rhythm is optimized. We're out in nature most of the time, grounded.
Yeah, big thing with sleep is you need infrared light and UVA light to build melatonin and hormones that help you sleep. So we're outside most of the day, but when you're inside, I replace windows with UV transparent plastic. So inside, you're even getting the infrared and UVA. So you're outside all day, even if you're inside, in a lot of ways.
Yeah, that's a huge hack, and one of the major takeaways from the immersion is just showing people how you can set up your home to where that becomes your safe healing space. Because you can't control the external environment, but you can control where you spend a lot of your time, your home. So replacing the lights with red lights, opening windows or replacing them with the UV plastic.
Use flux on your computer. I make red screens for TVs, red and amber screens to reduce blue light. So if you do watch TV, and then otherwise blue blockers. Nobody had to wear blue blockers here though.
Give a shout out to your website.
My website is shopwaken.com, WAKN. And yeah, I make screen filters and a few other niche things. A lot of the immersion is about the food I cook. I mean, I think I'm 12 for 12 on meals. Like, sometimes you cook things and it's like, oh shit, I burned those burgers, or I messed up this flavor, or like I didn't add enough salt, or I critique myself, and even if people like it, but I nailed, I think, every meal of every immersion so far.
Yeah.
I've just like home runs of making it sort of unique, incorporating a lot of fat, carbs. We buy everything local, potatoes, meat, the raw milk. We have like a raw milk kegger here. We bought 23 gallons that we shot through in 3 or 4 days.
Tristan and Merv, you guys were guzzling it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the farm that we get it from is like 45 minutes, like an hour away. So local meat, local
grass-fed, certified organic.
Yeah, local milk, local meat, local eggs, all organic food. And I asked the guys after, I was like, hey, what was your favorite meal from the immersion? It was like, there wasn't one consistent answer. There was votes for every single meal, so that.
And it's consistent where someone was like, I don't like this, but the way you cooked it, I like this now.
Yeah, for the pot roast, a couple of guys said that they didn't like carrots, or they didn't like sweet potatoes. But dude, those sweet potatoes, holy shit! Every
like
single bite I took,
puree.
it was heavenly.
Oh, yeah.
It was divine. So, yeah, we keep the guys well fed here.
And I try and help people learn to cook too. Especially if you're interested in learning. You can help me in the kitchen. The omelet's always a big hit. I've done that pretty much every breakfast, and people have taken that away and they make that on their own, which is good to see, and they're only getting better. And what was your favorite? I mean, I like the pot roast, but everything, that burger the last day, nailed that. That was one of the best burgers I've had.
It's hard for me to nail a favorite.
The dessert the last day was bomb. The churro ice cream.
Yeah, we also have dessert. So a lot of people think that eating healthy, you can't have good desserts or the food that you want. We have everything that people want to eat, just the healthy version of it. So
I think a lot of people are afraid to come to because they're not sure what this would be about, and we've talked about like They think we're just doing manly stuff, and like they don't really understand like what it's about. But in a lot of ways, it's kind of like a getaway for you to heal, sleep really well, and you know, the sauna, the hot tub, cold tub, all of those things are there to almost like help you relax. And the food, none of it's like we test you a little bit with some things, but really, I mean, it's kind of a nice vacation, and people aren't going back to work like tired.
Yeah.
You know, they're coming back energized.
Yeah. Revitalized. So day one, the primary focus of day one is overcoming challenge. So day one is the hardest day physically, mentally, emotionally. We do physical challenges, ice baths, workouts. We also do emotional work and spiritual work through story work. Shout out to Coach Dave Robinson, world-class story work coach.
So
Also, Nate Baumgartner facilitates ceremonies for us, breath work, music. So it's
he's killer.
It's a full lifestyle transformation. That's why the program, my Captain's Lifestyle program, is a prerequisite for attending here. Because that way you get the basics dialed in, and then at the immersion we show you how to implement things into your everyday life in all aspects.
Even all the coaches coming here, they learn something or they gain something from the others.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I think I got the most from this immersion, but this last one, I feel like I really, you know, have a lot of takeaway and motivation to do some things.
Well, the first one, you already knew a lot of the basics because you had gone through the program. So the basics of language, like the victim mentality and stuff like that. So again, that's why the program is a prerequisite, to get the basics out of the way, so that way when you're here, you can dive headfirst, fully immerse yourself, get vulnerable, because this is the best container to do it. That was another one of the key takeaways from myself and all the guys here, is the support from the crew. Like, the crew really is, in my opinion, the best group that I've ever been a part of. Everybody's so supportive.
You can say anything here. Like, I mean, I felt like the guys, the crazier things you say, the more we like you.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing you could say that would offend or upset anybody here.
Yeah, and a lot of one of the big things that I've noticed holds people back is they think that their trauma is so fucked up and so bad that they want to keep it inside and not share it with anybody. But something that we discovered in Dave's story work is that we're all pretty similar. After all, we've all got trauma, we've all dealt with shit, and one of the themes from the immersion is heal one, heal all. So when somebody has the courage to get vulnerable and share their story, everybody else in the group feels that emotion, like literally energy in motion. So when we were doing the ancestral work on day 3, I felt emotions coming up that were stored in my body, because I noticed the day before I was feeling tense, and then, which I just thought came from like overwork and stress. But after we did the emotional release from the ancestors work, I felt much more loose, much more light, and a lot of those random little aches and pains and stiffness went away because I had processed those emotions from other people's stories. So that was really cool for me to experience.
Yeah, you can relate to people's stories and apply them to yourself and almost heal from that.
Yep. One of the stats that Dave brought up was that when a high performer is around low performers, like people who chronically complain or are in the victim mentality or, you know, lazy, the high performer's performance is reduced by up to 30%. So getting in this type of container surrounded by other high performers who settle for nothing less than excellence is it acts as a mastermind. So you heal, and you also are able to take action because you're around other people who are like, let's fucking go.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, a lot of people don't have, you know, they're around their family or older friends in this
Co-workers.
And I think they'll go back and hopefully attract and gravitate like-minded people, and find their own, or even shift some of their own friends.
For sure. Like, yeah, you will lose friends. Actually, I wouldn't even call them friends.
Yeah.
You will lose people in your life because they are not aligning themselves with the highest version of themselves. You will distance yourself from people in your life.
You'll shed.
Great word. You'll shed people in your life who
maybe holding you back.
Exactly.
Holding you down, crabs in a bucket.
Yeah. All right, so my three biggest takeaways from this immersion in particular were that we become who we want to be. We can become who we want to be regardless of who we have been. So one of the exercises that Dave had us do on the first day was answering these questions. Who have I been? Who am I now? And who am I becoming? So as I said before, we've all got shit. We've all got trauma. We've all got shit that we regret, that we wish that we hadn't have done. But once we can identify that and really accept what we have done, and then release it and realize that we are no longer that person, and then create a vision for ourselves for who we want to be, and then act in alignment with that, it doesn't matter what our past is. A lot of times the best success stories come from people who have the most fucked up and stressful past, because they use that as fuel and as a learning experience to become the version that they want to be. So that was a great exercise for me, and I'll actually read to you what I wrote down for that exercise. Who have I been? I have been holding back. I have allowed myself to be suppressed. I have been confused. I have been scared. I have even been evil. I have abused my power and manipulated others for my pleasure. I have done wrong. I have known that I was doing wrong and continued anyways. I am no longer that person. Now I am leading with love and acting in accordance with my truth. I'm a pirate, a good pirate. I am a light in the darkness. I inspire thriving through my beauty and creation, and I lead by example to inspire health, fulfillment, and freedom. Although I find myself procrastinating on doing the work that is required to further create my vision, and I've identified that I used to be scared to put in the work because subconsciously I thought that I would abuse my power to continue with evil. And after this exercise, I realized that that is no longer the case, because I know that I am leading with love. I know my intentions are pure, and I am addicted to goodness. I live the captain's lifestyle, and I am the key to unlocking my love and light, which has created the immersion experience to unlock your love and light within you. So that was my first biggest takeaway. Second biggest takeaway, which we already covered, was heal one, heal all. So we won't go too deep into that. We already explained that. But just to summarize, in order to break generational curses that have been put onto you from your family, your parents, for example, or their parents, or even your ancestors, that trauma can be stored in our body. So the way to break free from that is to identify it, release yourself from it, and then to create generational love by acting in alignment with your vision for who you know you are and what you want to create. So that's why it's important to share our story in a collective group. Heal one, heal all. Number 3 is, together with the support of the crew, we will make thriving standard. As you guys know, this is my purpose, to make thriving standard. I can't do it alone. I need the support of the crew. Because when we create thriving for ourselves, we are then able to create thriving for others through inspiring them to see what's possible and to take action. So, yeah, by attending the immersion and continuing to live the captain's lifestyle, you create a massive ripple effect of love and light, and the effects of which are incalculable. Like I've said for a long time, my favorite part of coaching is not the results that I get for you, my clients, but it's the results that you then get for every person you interact with. Because once you become a better person, everybody you interact with is better. So, yeah, to everybody who attended the immersion, thank you for prioritizing yourself, because that is how we are able to elevate consciousness and get ourselves out of this cage that we find ourselves stuck in. So, those were my 3 biggest takeaways from this immersion.
I feel like the takeaway from that first exercise for most people was who you want to become. You almost write down what you already are, and we talked about imposter syndrome, where you don't feel old enough or qualified enough, or you feel like this is a year or 10 years down in the future, but really it's like changing your language and changing how you view yourself, and you realize like you're already there, or you could be there in like a week, whatever you wanted to write down or what you want to accomplish and whatnot. It's just so my takeaway was that, and some of the things that I want to build and accomplish felt further out of reach, and how I kind of made a connection was, I came from football, and oftentimes I see like the label given to a guy makes the person live up to that. So a guy given the opportunity to go to college doesn't make him, he's not necessarily better than the guy who didn't get to go to college football, but they give you that, you identify as a college football player, and now you become that.
Yeah.
Or to the NFL, you even get it more. It's like some guys you didn't think could get any better, and the second they're given that NFL title, they just increase 30%. They get 30% better.
Yeah.
And then I think Brooks or Dave said, like, yeah, the second you win a championship in boxing, you become 30% better. So taking that idea, and it's like viewing yourself as qualified for whatever you want to do. For me, it's like I want to be,
a master builder.
A master builder. That's what I wrote down. And it doesn't mean I need to be like Elon Musk building rocket ships. It's more targeted to what I'm interested with, healing people and helping people with my house or all the interesting things I build or do. And just realizing like, yeah, I've put off for 10 years doing what I want to do instead of taking action. I think some of the younger guys here, they're going to benefit greatly by realizing and how they given the steps on how to take action. Brooks did a great job in his
professional. I don't think he had a name
creative,
for it. But he
the
did
creative sesh almost.
Yeah.
Where, but yeah, just I think that really benefited people on how to take action to do what they want to do from a business perspective. It's very helpful.
Speaking of taking action and creating what you want, the What's Phil Up To podcast.
Yeah, that might be the name of it, or I'll just continue my old podcast from a long time ago, We All Know Nothing. I'm just going to talk about whatever's going on and random shit.
So Phil's got
ideas.
Phil's got a wealth of knowledge in a lot of different areas, primarily with health, but also bold jumping spiders, for example. Got a collection of bold jumping spiders upstairs. So
just random things.
Yeah, this was Brooks' idea actually, is because people are so interested in what he has to say, because he can go deep into different topics.
And it's hard to write it down to share, and people won't even read that. Like, people don't read a lot, so you need to have a platform to share verbally, and it just makes you... It's easier to take action than writing and doing a blog that nobody will read.
You know what episode 1's going to be about?
No, I don't.
whatever you feel like.
comes out.
Yeah. What's Phil up to? I'm certainly going to tune in. Yeah, we'll link to your current YouTube page.
Okay.
For that.
I'll be putting out a lot of content on red light therapy. That's kind of my obsession right now that I want to get out. Because I just see people are using red light wrong. The entire industry. So, kind of with Gemba Red, try and teach people how to use red light, and I'm really interested to see people go run with it and see the effects people get from it versus how people, the industry is using it at a distance, using it directly on the skin. Yeah.
All right. Last things to mention, shout out to K Jungle for facilitating movement for these guys, not just typical weightlifting or exercise, but moving our bodies in different ranges of motion, primal movements. So using the human body how we were designed. So crawling, jumping, moving around. That was wonderful for me.
He fits in well. His brand is like freedom and.
Yeah, in addition to movement, he's an expert on freedom and becoming sovereign, which is one of the main tenets of the captain's lifestyle: health, fulfillment, and freedom.
Out of the box thinker.
Yep. A true pirate. All right. I think that pretty much covers everything. Anything else you can think of?
I was saying, I wasn't sure how our first immersion would turn out. It was like, but it's wild. It's 10 times better than I thought it would be.
Continues to evolve.
And it's gotten better. Yeah, the first one was great, and then it just keeps getting better.
Yep. This is only the third one. I don't plan on stopping, just upgrading, making it better. If you guys want to attend the immersion, the first thing I recommend is clicking the link in the description and downloading the Captain's Code. Those are the 12 non-negotiable habits that must be in place in order for you to even begin to optimize your health, fulfillment, and freedom. It's free to download. It's about 20 pages that explains a little bit about the captain's lifestyle and how you can incorporate these simple habits into your everyday life. Then the next step would be to join the crew. That's the high performance men's community. And do those 2 steps and attend an immersion in the future. Currently, I'm hosting 2 per year. So with that said, Phil, thank you.
Thank you
for everything, letting us use the Waken Ranch.
Thanks for putting this on.
Yep.
It's like it's what I've wanted to do. It takes a lot of money and a lot of energy to get people together, and I just like it's like having friends over to go camping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of the guys said that
my favorite thing.
A lot of the guys said that they wanted a week-long immersion, which
we could go twice as long. Those days shoot by. It goes by so fast.
Yeah, it's.
Some guys were like, "Yeah, I could stay here for 3 weeks and do this."
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. A lot of work though. So if we do a week long, we're gonna need some additional support.
That'd be a lot of food. Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. Check out the What's Phil Up To podcast.
Yeah.
Until next time.
Yep.
Live the captain's lifestyle. Peace.